Has Playboi Carti just unleashed a seismic shift across the entire hip-hop landscape? After months of swirling rumors and maddening delays, Music has finally crashed onto the scene, turning heads, breaking the internet, and sparking endless debates. But here's the real jaw-dropper. Kendrick Lamar didn't just appear on one track. He delivered 3 full verses that no one saw coming. The question reverberating everywhere now is, did these unlikely collaborators just engineer the most electrifying moment in modern rap? Let's rewind for a second, because the lead-up to Music was a spectacle all on its own. Carti fans, notorious for their fiery passion, had been on the edge of their seats for what felt like a lifetime. Every rumored release date came and went, feeding a frenzy of speculation. Would the album sound dark and experimental, like Whole Lotta Red, or would Carti pivot into something more accessible? The guessing game was relentless, right up until the day the project finally dropped. In mere minutes, social media timelines exploded. Listeners lit up comment sections, enthralled by Carti's renewed intensity and fresh direction. Yet the biggest surprise of all, Kendrick Lamar's trio of features sparked the loudest reaction, overshadowing every other talking point about the record. It's no exaggeration to say that this union is the last thing anyone expected. Carti, who's carved out a niche with ethereal beats and hypnotic flows, typically travels in his own orbit. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar, widely hailed for conceptual storytelling and razor-sharp bars, has spent years operating on a more traditional, socially aware hip-hop stage. Seeing them fuse their styles is like watching 2 tectonic plates converge, creating a whole new landscape in the process. Everyone is glued to the outcome. From the moment the world discovered Kendrick wasn't featured once, but 3 times, the hype became off the charts. Almost literally. We know Kendrick's name alone can catapult any record into the upper echelons of music rankings. Pair that gravitational pull with Carti's fiercely dedicated following, and you've got a recipe for massive cross-genre success. Fans who might never have given Carti's futuristic trap aesthetic a second glance are now tuned in, eager to see how Kendrick navigates these uncharted waters. But let's not forget about another rap heavyweight who's been hustling to regain his top dog position, Drake. He recently dropped his own body of work, SSS for You, hoping to command the airwaves the same way he has for much of the past decade. However, the timing of Music is suspiciously perfect, or diabolically perfect, depending on your viewpoint. Drake has been pushing tracks like Noia to climb up those ever-competitive charts, only to find himself ambushed by an unexpected wave of Carti-Kendrick mania. And it's not just one track that might snatch Drake's precious chart spots, it's 3. Kendrick's presence is so potent that SSS for You might find itself overshadowed. Some have even dubbed this a power struggle for chart dominance. People love a good face-off, and right now the entire rap community is watching to see if Drake can hold his ground under such formidable competition. Will this be the moment Drake's reign begins to wobble? Or can he pull off a miraculous turnaround? The suspense alone is fueling social media chatter like wildfire. Of course, the tracks themselves bear the most weight, so let's pry open these 3 songs and uncover why they've created such a sonic earthquake. Each piece carries its own flavor, tapping into distinct corners of hip-hop. Backdoor. This cut eases in with a glossy melodic aura that could dominate not just rap charts, but pop and R&B spheres as well. Carti's airy approach finds a surprising counterbalance in Kendrick's smooth, emotive delivery. As rumors suggest, the production might involve the creative genius formerly known as Mr. West, breathing a soulful warmth into every measure. If you had to bet on one track from Music to become a monstrous commercial success, this might be it. The question is, could Backdoor dethrone some of Drake's current singles? Industry insiders are practically shouting, absolutely! Good credit. Take a sharp left turn from the breezy vibe of Backdoor, and you'll find yourself in the shadowy realm of Good Credit. This track plunges into a murkier soundscape, setting a tone that's more menacing and cryptic. Carti's edgy persona has always thrived in darker production, and here, Kendrick steps up with unnerving lines and ominous references that leave hip-hop detectives scrambling for hidden meanings. One bar in particular has already sent ripples across the internet. Kendrick seems to acknowledge a rumored beef list tied to Drake, 50 Cent, and others, proving he's acutely aware of every whisper in the rap community. His line about conspiracy theories and the wrong person reads like a direct shot at Drake's swirling legal challenges, as if to say, your aim is off, off, and you're barking up the wrong. The combination of eerie ambiance and subliminal jabs makes Good Credit feel like the type of track fans will analyze for months. Mojo Jojo. Then there's Mojo Jojo, the wild card of the bunch, brimming with a playful, experimental energy that draws on Carti's unorthodox style. Rather than hog the spotlight, Kendrick mostly lingers in the background, delivering harmonies and ad-libs that subtly elevate the entire composition. It's a stark contrast to how certain big-name artists, looking at you, Drake, sometimes dominate a collaboration, leaving the featured act in their shadow. Mojo Jojo might not crack the top of the Billboard Hot 100, but it's got a fiercely addictive quality. Listeners describe it as cartoonish yet surprisingly sophisticated, as if Kendrick and Carti are winking at the entire hip-hop universe, saying, "We can make magic while having fun, no ego trips needed." Why now? Why pick Carti? Many believe that this is a strategic triumph for Kendrick, a deliberate move to reinforce his status at the apex of rap, while Drake is scrambling to recapture old glories. Releasing 3 new features right when SSS for You is trying to find stable footing can't be a coincidence. It's a masterful bit of timing that ensures Kendrick dominates the conversation in every hip-hop blog, social media feed, and podcast. He's also referencing his monumental Super Bowl appearance, slyly nodding to its cultural clout in bars that weave between tributes to classic R&B moments and subtle shots at Drake. Lines like "having it my way like Usher," "dog," "red blue diamond like Gusher," "dog" are more than mere punchlines. They're multi-layered messages. By anchoring each bar with the word dog, he could be hinting at Drake's For All the Dogs theme. In other words, it's a clever jab that resonates with fans eager to decode every syllable. It's these winks to the audience that cement Kendrick's reputation for lyrical depth and masterful showmanship. The big question, can Drake withstand this relentless onslaught? He's certainly no newcomer to competition. For years, his formula of melding catchy hooks with emotive verses has set the standard for commercial hip-hop, but Kendrick's artistry, rooted in meticulously crafted lyrics, presents a different threat. It's not simply about who climbs higher on Billboard, it's also about whose music sparks a deeper cultural conversation. For Drake, the arrival of Backdoor, Good Credit, and Mojo Jojo, just as he's pushing Noia, feels like a sudden storm interrupting what was supposed to be a comfortable climb to the top. Factor in the possibility that Backdoor could cross multiple charts, that Good Credit provides hearty fodder for controversies, and that Mojo Jojo might capture a left-field following, and Drake's path to chart supremacy starts looking more like a minefield. Each track can nibble away at his streams and possibly overshadow entire segments of SSS for You. To be fair, Drake is a formidable contender. He might pivot yet again, dropping another single or unleashing a collaboration spree of his own. But with the unanimous praise I Am Music is generating, especially for the Carti-Kendrick synergy, he's got a real fight on his hands. There's a much bigger narrative brewing here. Kendrick Lamar choosing to work with Carti reflects a broader trend, the dissolving of barriers between subgenres in hip-hop. Where once there was a clear divide between conscious rap and trap wave, we're now seeing top-tier lyricists dip their toes into more experimental production and left-of-center artists stepping into the mainstream spotlight. This new era is about dismantling rigid boundaries and emphasizing creativity at any cost. By tapping into Carti's raw, visceral energy, Kendrick broadens his own reach while reinforcing the concept that hip-hop grows stronger through shared innovation. Look at how Mojo Jojo seamlessly merges Carti's style with Kendrick's supportive ad-libs. It's a prime example of two artists complementing each other instead of wrestling for the spotlight. Kendrick's message is clear: we can exist in each other's spaces without watering down the art. This alignment is equally monumental for Carti. He's been massively influential within certain circles, but critics sometimes dismiss him as too niche or cryptic. Securing Kendrick's cosign propels Carti into a new realm of recognition. It affirms his artistry to skeptics who might have viewed him as a passing fad. Think of it this way: for any doubters still sleeping on Carti, these tracks shout, "Wake up!" When someone as respected as Kendrick invests not just 1 but 3 verses into your album, the industry pays attention. Carti's unique aesthetic and vocal style receive a fresh appraisal, and this might trigger even more collaborations down the line, potentially bridging the gap between the underground and the mainstream in ways we haven't seen before. Now, you might ask, Are these songs instant classics or just momentary hype? Fair question. Viral moments can fizzle fast in the streaming era, but there's a sense that Music has tapped into something deeper. Each track resonates on multiple layers, catchy enough for casual listeners, yet jam-packed with references for die-hard fans to decode for weeks on end. Social media debates on Kendrick's subliminals, Carti's progression, and Drake's potential downfall have already reached a boiling. This means the replay value is astronomical, especially when fans dive in to analyze lines about alleged conspiracies and hidden messages referencing 50 Cent, pushback dates, and cryptic suits. Whether or not the album remains in the top spot indefinitely, it has undeniably left a mark that people will talk about far beyond its release window. So, is Drake about to be dethroned by this unstoppable Carti-Kendrick alliance? Or will the Six God orchestrate a surprise counterattack? That's for you to decide, because the conversation is just heating up. One thing is certain, rap fans everywhere are glued to the drama, and that collective excitement only drives these tracks even higher on the charts. Now we want to hear from you. Which of the 3 Kendrick featuring anthems has you hooked? Backdoor, Good Credit, or Mojo Jojo? Is Backdoor already a surefire candidate for Song of the Year? Or are you more intrigued by the cryptic energy of Good Credit? Maybe Mojo Jojo has you hitting repeat all day because of its wildly unique vibe. Drop your thoughts in the comments if you're ready to see how this next rap battle unfolds. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button and share your take on whether Carti just scored the year's biggest W. Because trust me, this conversation is only getting louder. With Music, Carti's evolution is on full display, and Kendrick Lamar cements his reign by proving he can partner with practically anyone and still elevate both their art and his own. If you've ever questioned how unpredictable or daring hip-hop can be, this album provides your answer in neon letters. The possibilities are limitless. We're witnessing a pivotal moment where boundaries blur, rivalries intensify, and creativity soars to new heights. And best of all, this is just the beginning of what promises to be one of the genre's most talked about sagas in years. So, brace yourself. We may be witnessing the dawn of a braver, bolder rap scene, one that unifies different corners of hip-hop under the umbrella of fearless experimentation. The final verdict on Drake's next move? Still unknown, but if these new Kendrick Carti gems are any indication, the bar has just been raised, and the entire rap world is taking notice. Where do you land in this tug-of-war for the crown? Let's keep the conversation blazing. Your opinions fuel the hype, and the hype is what transforms moments like this into legendary chapters in hip-hop's evolving story. Grab your headphones, replay those 3 tracks, and decide for yourself. Did Carti and Kendrick just rewrite the rules for everyone else? One thing's for sure, the rap scene has never been more alive, and the sparks they're creating might light the path for the rest of 2023.